Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing things a little bit differently tonight. Normally, I would have made this an episode and done some cuts and done some edits, but I decided, you know what? Let's talk about this real time, face to face with the people. Myself and Andrew, we are back to Burgundy Breakdown, but BIB Draft HQ because we got to make upgrades at wide receiver. Let's talk about this. Andrew, what's happening, man? It's a little differently tonight.
What's happening? This is exciting. I cannot say that I've done a live stream here on Ballin and Burgundy, with the exception of our draft live stream. So I'm excited. We got some stuff to talk about. It's a lot going on in the NFL with the wide receiver position. So
yeah, we got a lot going on, and don't worry, we will still be doing the watch party for night one of the NFL draft. But we're gonna do things a little bit differently. We're gonna get a few more people on, whether it's Burgundy Breakdown. More to come. But like I said, we got some wide receiver talk to start. But guys, you already know what time it is. Hit that subscribe button here on BIB. We are at 1,026 subscribers live, folks. We live. So hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,100. And because we're over 1,000, and I believe Instagram and YouTube want to work, the super chats are open. If you are gracious enough to give us, $1 and a little bit of your time, we will stop the show and talk to your super chats and talk to you in the comments. I want to see if this works. So if gracious enough, hit us with a super chat, hit us with a subscribe, and hit that follow button and like button in the comments. But Andrew, we know why we're here. We got to make big. Unfortunately. Now it's in the title. It's in the intro. We got to make big time
upgrades, people. Upgrades
at the wide receiver position. It was too good not to use. Too good not to.
You came ready, bro. You came ready.
Gotta come prepared for these live streams, man. I got prepared for Wednesday. Your boy about to get flamed on Wednesday, but more details to come. But looking at the current wide receiver room, Terry McLaurin, Jalen Lane, Lukey Pookie McCaffrey, Treylon Burks, Van Jefferson, Dyami Brown, Nick Nash, Ja'Cory Brooks, and Jacoby Jones. The last three are on practice squad. We brought back Treylon, we brought back Dyami, we brought in Van. It's a wide receiver room.
I would almost go as far to make the argument that we have one receiver that should be on a starting roster. Terry McLaurin. Yep. I think every single person on this list besides him is no better than a backup. And that's where we're at.
Fair. Yeah. I would agree. Yeah, Luke was our 3 last year, really became a 2 once Terry and Debo were kind of in and out. Jalen was our special teams guy. Treylon Burks came in late into the season, had, honestly, I think actually a good time here in Washington, especially that Denver catch, which we'll be playing that on video packages for years. Van Jefferson is always a nice veteran name. Dyami Brown, one of the fan favorites, we brought him back. And then Nash, Brooks, and Jacoby Jones, we bring those guys back to reserve/future contracts. So it's I would agree that Terry would be a starting receiver on probably half of the league rosters, but also the other half have Puka, Jamar, Amon-Ra, Jettas, Neighbors. Like it's a time to be a Commanders fan with this wide receiver room. I would make the argument that we desperately, now looking at it on paper and 3 weeks out of free agency, we need help.
We need help for sure. And by starting, I don't even necessarily mean a wide receiver 1. I just mean general playing time. I mean, Van Jefferson's a good deep ball guy. That's about it. Mm-hmm. Jalen Lane's a good for special teams returning. Luke has never done jack for us, in my opinion. And Burks has had maybe one good game last season.
I think Luke was coming out before he got injured last season. He was getting in there.
I need to see it. I need to see it to believe it.
You know what? Touche. Now, Let's talk about free agency, because one name we were linked to the whole time was Alec Pierce. He was on the majority of our lists. He was on the Burgundy Breakdowns lists. We had talked about ad nauseum bringing him in. Rumors are, and shout out to Football Forever, because it's a fantastic graphic. You can't make jersey edits like this. We were heavily interested. We made a heavy offer. I think it was just upwards of $30 million for Pierce. Now, he got a 4-year, 114, which is right around, I think, that sweet $28 million mark. But he stays in Indianapolis. He keeps the same tax bracket. He stays the same quarterback, the same OC. He doesn't got to move any of his family, any of his friends. Like, I get it. If this is true, that we were this aggressive that he would have come here if Indy didn't give him the money, I would almost suspect this is tampering before the tampering period.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule that out. I personally am very glad that this didn't happen. I think Alec Pierce is a great receiver. This is nothing going against him. But my opinion more stems from the fact that we were almost willing to pay him about $30 million a year.
Terry money.
And I don't think Terry should probably be getting paid that either, because he's old, on the decline, starting to have health issues. Alec Pierce is younger, but he's just not a $30 million a year receiver. So I'm glad that we avoided him. We still have that cap space to use somewhere else with a different receiver. Hopefully that happens. I'm going to be very concerned if it doesn't. But I feel like $30 million a year is just way too much.
It feels like a lot, and I figured he would get it right around that 30 mark, just based on what they were going to do cap space wise, what they needed to do, the market that he was going to get. Now, if we could have gotten him at 28 and the Colts offered him like 27.5, he might have come here. But also, to that same degree, they then traded Michael Pittman to Pittsburgh, which tells me they truly believe in Alec. They believe in 14, which good for him. Make the money. Good for you. But $30 million to have we would be in the Bengals problem. You have all your money on the offense.
Yep.
If we had made this move, I don't know if we would have gotten the Odafe contract in time.
Yeah, especially when defense really needs to be our main priority.
Yeah.
That's where our issues mainly lie. And I'm not willing to put that much cap space into an offensive piece when that's not our first issue we got to be addressing. So,
So, look, as unfortunate as it is, it did not happen. Alec Pierce did not come here to Washington. Props to him. Staying in Indy. Didn't happen. So well and so forth, Mr. Pierce. So back to this receiver room. Again, it's clearly just Terry. It's probably going to be someone either we draft, sign, bring in as a 2. I would say Luke, if he's healthy, at the 3, Treylon at the 4, Van at the 5, Dion. It's going to be interesting if we keep 7 receivers.
Yeah, I don't know if all of these guys will be here by the start of the season, because I'm hoping that we'll pick up someone. We definitely need to draft someone. 7 receivers is kind of a lot.
It is
tricky.
It's going to be tricky because we're bringing in the Rutgers quarterback, Ethan Kalimakis, on a top 30 visit. So I would expect he is the Sam Hartman upgrade. So you would have 3 quarterbacks. I would assume you keep 4 running backs. You probably keep the 8 or non-offensive linemen, the 4 tight ends, and then maybe 6. So I would, if we're talking about the main 6 on the top, meaning Terry, Luke, Jalen, Treylon, Van, Dyami, I would almost expect Van's the odd man out.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have been kind of not really dissing on him, but not really fully appreciating that signing. And I get it's just a depth piece, but I feel like he's a very useful player in certain roles. Like he's a good deep ball guy that can open up the middle of the field and take away safeties. And I feel like that'll be helpful for some of our other receivers, create more openings. But he's not going to be like that guy. He's still just a depth piece, but I do like that.
Yep.
Could I pose to you a question?
What you got?
Do you think that this receiving room is the worst in the NFL?
Ooh. Honestly, I don't think it's the worst. It's probably bottom 8.
Bottom 8?
I say bottom 8. I think Cleveland might be the worst. No.
Okay.
Cleveland, the Jets, outside of Marv Harrison, I'd say the Cardinals. I'd say
better than anyone we got.
Yeah, I think New England, especially with them not having Diggs, and like they signed Romeo Dobbs, but is he going to be your true one? Is Dobbs a true one? Time will tell. I think the Bills, you can make an argument because they always need a wide receiver. The Dolphins, the Dolphins are the worst. I take that back. The Dolphins are the worst. Waddle. They just lost Waddle.
Yeah.
I think if you take out Chris Olave, it's the Saints. I'd say we're probably bottom of the league. I wouldn't say we're the worst because it's like New Orleans, Cleveland, the Jets, and Miami alone. There's your true 4.
It gets close. It gets, there's a lot of teams that are pretty close to the worst in the league. I feel like we're a bottom 3 receiving room.
Ooh.
Currently with Terry McLaurin.
That's hot. That's
I stand firm on that. Ooh. I do not think we have a strong receiving room at all. I'm putting us in the bottom 3. I beg your pardon. I didn't even know you had a soundboard. Oh my.
Hey man. Remember, I used to do the soundboard when I had to edit the videos, like true edit. I would put them in. Now I just click a button.
You got them live.
I got live. I hold the power. But I mean, Dollar Bill might be in your camp. Van Jefferson over Lukey Pookie McCaffrey.
Oh, I'd take Van over Luke all day.
Yeah,
Luke's shown me nothing.
I think if Luke was healthy the whole season, I think he would have turned the tide on some people. Because the Chargers game, he was good for it. He was doing good on special teams before Jalen was coming in. He was consistently getting deep balls. He just wasn't getting deep balls thrown his way.
Or catching them.
Or a lot of catching him. But also that Chargers catch, you wouldn't have suspected him to make that catch.
Maybe I just have a really bad memory. But the only game I can actually remember him being a part of was that Chargers game.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's it.
That's touche. That I can't dispute that. I'm not gonna try because I can't.
Most of the time, a non-existent receiver.
That's fair. I think part of it is that the Cliff offense was weird. The way Dan and Adam drafted guys to where Cliff was using them. Like everyone was hype on the Benson at draft pick,
especially you,
and especially me, Josh, Adam.
I liked it too. At the time, I loved it.
But now you can't find him.
Yeah.
And when he is on the field, he makes one play at a time, and it's like the rest he's blocking. It's like we have a second John Bates, which, look, if we're going to draft Jay Levin, we'll get into him in a little bit. That's not the worst idea to have 2 blocking tight ends across from your 2 star tackles. But you shouldn't have done a second-round pick on a blocking tight end.
And to be fair, John Bates is a much better blocking tight end than
for sure.
By
for sure. And we paid him like it though. 3 years, 21 mil. I think it was like 12 guaranteed. It's not a bad contract, and it gets him through. Probably by the time we got to pay Jayden, Bates will probably be out the door. I get it. What up, Corvus? What's going on, man? What's going on? Mike Williams put in a few comments because I'm going to bring this up. I said this on Saturday with Rio. We have talked about this in the group chats. We've talked about this on the Burgundy Breakdown. Talked about this on other people's show. Brian Thomas Jr. Now,
oh boy,
people want to trade for him, and I get it. All right, LSU connection. He's super young. Had a really down year in Jacksonville, especially with Jacoby Myers down there, Parker Washington down there. They drafted Trav Hunter, which he should be a cornerback, not a wide receiver. But that's just me. I don't think it happens. And Rio said it on Wednesday on the last episode. For other teams, it might happen. New England, it could happen. Philly, if they want to offload AJ Brown and get younger. You could look at a Raiders if they want to truly give Mendoza a true one. But it's not going to be us, I don't think. I love it. We just don't have the capital for it.
That I don't think it's going to happen. I might disagree with the fact that we don't have the capital. I also would love it. He is a rated player after this year.
Yeah.
Just because of how much he fell off. There's a lot of people sort of hating on him for that.
Yep.
I would be willing to give up 2027 picks for him, just probably not this year's picks. We don't have many picks this year, and that's our issue.
No. And to be honest, next year we're at a base 7 of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So even if we had to trade a 3 this year and a 2 and a 4 next year, is that going to be worth it? Because you're going to have to pay Brian in 2 years. Because remember, he and Jayden were the same draft class.
Here's how I would kind of like to look at that. I mean, if we had a 3rd round pick and we could draft a wide receiver out of college who is just as skillful as Brian Thomas Jr.
Yep.
I'd make that pick. Like, that would be great for us. It'd be a great addition. He's not going to be, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. He's not going to be Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I mean, he's going to be a valid piece that is worth a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick. I mean, that's more than they're getting offered because they were getting a 5th.
They were getting low ball offers. I think it's really going to take at least a 2nd round pick to get him off his hands because they spent a high first on him. They spent, what were they, mid range? I think they were in the teens, maybe early 20s. You're gonna have to give it probably a 2 and probably a 4 to get him. Well, we have a 3 and a 5 this year. We have our allotment of picks next year. We don't have the draft capital to give him. We have the cap space to do it all day. But if we had to give up 71, 145, and let's say even if we did 2/3 and a 5th, a 3rd this year, a 3rd next year, and a 5th this year, where you're down to 4 picks this year, you're back down to your average 6 picks next year.
I don't know if it'd take that much. Do you think it would?
I think it's gonna take more than they think. I think it's gonna take more than when people are giving it up because he is super young. His first year, he was electric. First year, he was being compared to top 10 wide receivers. Last year, I don't know what happened in Liam Cohen's team last year. I don't know. I can't remember if they got a new OC last year or not. Thanks, Nick. He's a terrible take, Andrew. Great.
Just
take,
warning you,
John.
he's a Cowboys fan, so we should probably.
Hey, whoa. Hey, yo. Those are forbidden words around these spots. But I don't know what I forget if Jacksonville got a new OC last year, and that might have been just part of the thing because they were high on using Trav in that offense. But Nick Andrew is not clueless. Stop that. Stop that. But I think he is so much better than because remember the whole debate that year, the 2024 season was who was the better receiver, Brian or Malik, and I think the consensus is Malik. But to have that conversation, it's like it's saying the same thing as who was better, Jamar or Jettas. It depends on what you like in your flavor of wide receivers. You want route running, Justin Jefferson. If you want electric plays all day, it's Jamar. I just don't think I don't think draft capital, or unless we were able to package a deal and get, offload Payne, which isn't going to happen. If they wanted Johnny Newton or Jerzon, excuse me, I don't associate Johnny Newton. It's Jerzon Newton. If we had to package, someone else, I don't like if they wanted Luvu, I would hear them.
I would rather give up Payne maybe than Luvu.
For sure. But also Payne, but there is an argument that Payne is your best defensive player. I know I've made mock drafts of trading Payne to Las Vegas. I get it. But he's your defensive captain.
Does that say much at this point, though? I mean, sure, he's a captain. He's sort of the middle of the team, but I mean, if you look at his numbers, he's really.
I mean, yeah, but he's also he's the true veteran on that defense. Bobby isn't anymore. Bobby's gone.
Got experience.
Vaughn is gone.
I agree.
Yeah. He's the next experience. He's the next veteran, the next leader. So I don't think we're gonna get rid of him. In all honesty, like we've had the debates, we've had the conversation. Yeah. I don't think no. I think if they were going to, they would have done it at the height of everyone getting traded, and we could have gotten something there. The Baltimore, him in a 6th for a 3rd and a 6th rumor. I saw that. I absorbed it, and I said probably not. So I get it. I just don't think this happening. Brian Thomas Jr. number 7 is happening. I would love it. I just don't see it happening because it would have to be similar compensation package, not as much, but similar to like the Laramie thing.
Yeah.
Again, not as much, but it would be like a pick this year and a pick next year. 2 picks this year, a pick next year. Like I think it's going to be higher because he is so young and still on a rookie contract.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, there's the reel from last offseason where it was you, me, and Reedy, and we brought up the whole trade Terry and a pick for Brian. And I still get comments to this day. They're never going to do this. I'm like, it was a year ago. Like it just runs through it. I clipped it out, and then it clipped out before we made the adjustment. We were saying trade Terry for Brian in a 3rd. We meant trade Terry in a 3rd for Brian, and people were like, "How dare you do this?" It's like, no, you gotta watch the full video.
That's right.
It's context, guys.
I was confused during that too.
You were a little bit.
What are we saying here?
Yeah. And then we fixed it. We totally fixed it. Yeah. But the reason why, and again, and this is the other piece of it. Is it realistic? No. It's not. It's not going to happen. I don't think. I think it was going to happen. It would have happened by now, probably, unless this becomes Trent again, and we trade for him on draft day, and Jaguars get a low ball offer, which could happen. It could happen for AJ Brown. It could happen for, honestly, it could happen for Budda Baker. Like, yeah, I just don't see it happening. Again, I would love it. I'm here for it if it happens. Cool beans. It's just not happening, guys. Sorry about it.
We're on the same page.
We're on the same page. Dollar Bill saying Terry might be the unluckiest player I've ever loved. Ooh. That's, you know what?
I like that.
He's onto something.
I don't like it, but I'd agree with it.
But he's onto something. What's the Anthony Mackie quote? He's out of line, but he's right. 100%. I never thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way.
I mean, he's never gotten like a true quarterback until Jayden.
Till now.
He does, and now he's 30 and getting injured. It's pretty unlucky.
Huh.
It's sad.
This is how I feel reading that question. Or reading that statement. Just I totally understand it too. The tail end of Kirk. I don't even think he played with Kirk. Dwayne, Sam, Jayden, Taylor, Marcus, Fitz, Alex Smith. Who was the white back 3rd string quarterback that played against Dallas that we got killed on? Because it was their backup quarterback too that season. 21, I think. Because I can see him getting sacked. Either way, he's played with like 9 quarterbacks. Yeah. So might be the unluckiest player. Dollar, 14 quarterbacks, 0 wide receiver 2s. I'd give Curtis a nod, but he was there for like a season. And then Peters being a weirdo with it. Man.
Yeah. No, I'm with that.
I never thought of it that way.
Yep.
I'm mad I never thought of it that way. The unluckiest player we have loved in Washington.
I think one of the saddest things that could happen is seeing him never win a Super Bowl.
It's going to suck.
There's a great chance he retires without ever winning a Super Bowl. And that's going to be very sad.
That's just sad. I feel upset reading that comment now. And but that's not at you. It's because I never thought of it that way, and now thinking about it makes me sad. Because someone said something. Someone said something on another one of the other videos was the day Terry leaves, which could be as early as next season. It's gonna break my heart. I'm like, dude, I didn't want to think about it. Because the rumor is he could be leaving next year after getting this big old contract extension, which I don't see happening. I could see him being, a forever commander. But if that happens the way Mike Evans left Tampa, I'm going, ugh. Like, insane. But moving on, wrapping up the BTJ thing. Is Brian Thomas Jr. bound to rebound? I hope so. I think Brian could rebound. Jacoby as your 2, Parker as your 3.
I think there's a great chance he does. I mean, he had an off year. I'm not ruling that at all. I think if he gets put in a new situation, new offense, new offensive coordinator, that's a lot of times how players sort of revive their careers. And I'm not saying he needs to revive his entire career, but it's going to be that sort of bounce back that he needs, especially if he comes here.
Yeah. Duh, this ain't Nick. This a whole Andrew. What you mean, Nick? Why are you so?
I think my roommates might have gotten in this this chat section. Dom, I don't know if you know ball, bro. I don't know why you're commenting that. Malik Willis. You don't even know how to spell his name.
Dang, dog. Malik Willis. Hey yo.
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. That is a Timu jersey from the Dominican Republic by way of Saudi Arabia. That is crazy. Daba saying sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but no, but it's a crazy statement. You brought it up, but it's not crazy in the fact that when you say it out loud, it's 100% true. It's 100. It's a fantastic. I might have to clip that out. That just might be a clip.
I'm with that.
I'm with it. I think sophomore slump for real. He should be back by low. See, I don't think sophomore slump was real on him. I think you can make a case it was real on the team, considering they were a playoff team. Because again, Parker Washington was getting involved, ETM was getting involved. They were really trying to force the ball to Trav, and then they traded for Jacoby Myers. So, yeah. I mean that I could have also just proven your whole argument. So maybe that's just my bad. I wouldn't, but to me, it wasn't a sophomore slump. Nor do I think Jayden was, because Jayden was pure injuries on him and the whole team.
That was his fault. Yeah.
No, a lot of it was out of his control. So there is that. But if I just made the case for the sophomore slump, then you know what, I'm just a great debate host. Put me on first take. Hey, what up, Black Mal? Saying Tennessee trying to move Calvin Ridley. If so, should the Commanders? I don't know if I want Calvin Ridley.
I think he's got a great resume. He's still not a bad player, but he's old and he's not going to be decent for much longer.
I think he could go to a team that probably needs like a cool 2, a good 3. Again, Buffalo, because they traded for DJ Moore. They still have Keon Coleman. New England, perhaps. Maybe he goes down to Miami to give them just a good veteran receiver. I don't think we do it. Mike said at the top of the show, bring in the Maryland boy Stephon Diggs. Look, people want Diggs in DC, and he had a great year in New England.
I think he'd be better than Ridley, but I think the same issue that kind of lies in that is that we're seeing Adam Peters really try to go younger. I mean, we had the oldest or the second oldest roster in the NFL by average. I forget which.
We had the oldest last season by
the far. Oldest, number one oldest. And then we've seen all of our free agency signings have been these really young guys, and that's what Adam Peters is trying to change. So I don't think Diggs or Ridley's really going to fit that criteria that we're going for.
Yeah.
But I do think Diggs still has some gas. I think he's still a decent player.
I would say so, but I think he probably is going to do the D-Hop route, as go to some contending teams that need a receiver, a really good veteran who is, in the midst of going from that high 1, cruising into that 2. Him and KC, perhaps. Him and Buffalo, reuniting in Buffalo probably doesn't happen, but try and get a ring. maybe him to the Rams if Devontae moves on. Just swap out a receiver for a receiver for a receiver. Like, could happen. Minnie saying, you think Rachaad White takes over the backfield, or what's his? I don't think he's going to take it over. I think now we're going to do running back by committee, him and Bill. I don't think that he's going to take it over because Bucky was clearly a little bit better. In my
Bucky
opinion,
is definitely
but
younger and better. He's going to be a good support back with Bill. I think they're going to sort of play each to their abilities.
Yeah. White is a much better receiving threat than Bill.
Right.
So I think that's what, because I mean, if we think about it, but you lose Eckler, who was going to be your receiving back and was going to be, the person you needed in tight situations. Rachaad can be that. You bring back J-Mac, you bring in Jerome Ford, and you bring in Rachaad White. You've kind of played out the pieces that you needed. Jerome was going to be Chris, Rachaad could be Eckler, you still have Bill, you still have J-Mac. I think we're in a good spot. And I forgive it's Rachaad or Jerome, who was like a really good pass protector.
And I don't want to get too deep into this because I see we have some comments to catch up on, but I feel like that whole situation could definitely change if we end up drafting Jeremiah Love. And that's got to be something keep an eye out for.
Keep an eye on it. Hey, Reading Z, what a BIB management. Hey, there half of management is here. The other half of management is at home. One taking care of a child, and one is probably still in the power outage. So shout out to Justin. So,
we ignoring the Mariota over Jayden take?
I might.
Maybe we should ignore that. Yeah.
Maybe we should ignore it. Just get rid of it. Futuristic really. Well, you know what? So he said this in the mock job I did with Rio. And I said this when we were going through receiver market. And I said, you could kick the tires on Van Jefferson. And I'm just predicting the future.
Mm-hmm.
But what a take. But to Andrew, but this is part of your point. Wants to prove himself to be right about Luke and Jalen Lane. So he might be done. It could be on the market. Could be on the docket. Is he wants to be right about some of his guys.
I don't feel like that's a very responsible path to take as a GM. I feel like I understand it, but I feel like if you're wrong about your guys, you got to kind of accept that and move on and try to find someone better.
Something Jerry Jones refuses to do.
Right. Yeah. But I feel like it'd be the right thing for him to see the truth in those players and maybe move on.
Could be. Could be. Dalbo, I will come back to your delaying question because I want to move on to the draft being for the receiver market, but I will come back to yours stuff. Mike saying trade McCaffrey. I'm not trading for Aiyuk. There's no way.
We disagree on that.
You know what? Let's talk about it. We're already here. I was gonna bring up the draft. Let's bring up this Aiyuk drama. I still don't want him. I don't want to trade for him. They're gonna cut him regardless come post June 1. I'm not trading for Brandon Aiyuk.
I mean, if you saw the last video I was on, you know that I am 100% willing to trade for Aiyuk, regardless of whether he's cut, whether they keep him. I don't care. I don't think it would cost much, and he would
be like a 7th.
He'd be kind of a shot in the dark, but he could be someone that really, really helps out our offense, especially with that connection with Jayden.
Yeah,
I think he's still a great player. He's healthy. I want him. John doesn't.
All right. I think Nick is on your side. I think Justin is playing the gray area. I don't want him, so it's a split bag here at BIB. You know what? It's what we live for. All of us have our different opinions. It's what we live for. Having a different opinion. That's a-okay, guys. So look, I don't want him. Andrew wants him. The people might not like Cornbread Steve doesn't want him, but Mike's saying you still trade Luke for him. First off, fantastic name, Cornbread Steve. I love that.
It's pretty.
That's hilarious. That's fantastic. Mike says he'll trade for him. Look at that. We all got different opinions. That is okay. But now moving on to the draft. There are names galore. And I want to start with the big three. Carnell Tate, Jordyn Tyson, Makai Lemon. Look, I don't think you can go wrong. I said this with Rio. I've said this in the comments before. I think Carnell Tate is the most pro-ready. I mean, Brian Hartline pumps out wide receivers like nobody's business. Makes no sense. But you can make the argument Jordyn Tyson is probably the most explosive out of the three.
Yeah, I think Carnell Tate is sort of that safe bet. He's from arguably wide receiver university, either that or LSU. You say we can't go wrong between the three. I might disagree and say that Jordyn Tyson would be going wrong. I've seen film from him that I just feel like is kind of crappy and not very professionally ready and developed. I don't think he's a bust. I think he could be a decent player. He's got different attributes than Tate and Lemon. But I'm definitely more leaning towards that Tate or Lemon side of things. Lemon has arguably some character issues. I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. But I do like what I've seen from him when it comes to route running, the deep ball. He has great hands, doesn't really drop much. So that's where I stand.
Yeah. That should be we'll worry about that later. I would agree with all of that. I think the big thing with Jordyn Tyson, now people are saying, Reedy, Lemon is a Reedy guy. Your boy Dominic wants Lemon. Mal wants Tyson. I bet you Dominic bought a lemon and he was like, that's all I want. I want a little bit of citrus on this team.
He just likes
it's a fan. Commander Lemon ain't bad. I think the one got our first. Let's go, Evan. You know what? It's a horrible take, but we appreciate it, my guy. Commanders are cheeks. Raiders going all the way. They're going all the way to back-to-back number 1 overall picks. I'll tell you that much.
I could see the Raiders being better than us next year. I'll give it to Evan for that $1.99.
Hey, you can have my boy. We appreciate it. That's the first super chat in channel history. So Evan, my guy, I appreciate you.
First super chat in channel history goes to Evan Butler.
Let's get it, my boy. Fan, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Now, back to Jordyn Tyson. The big issue with Tyson, and this is the really kicker, is his injury history. He is not planning on participating at the Arizona State University Pro Day. That hamstring injury, they say, is lingering from Dane Brugler. He's going to not participate. He was injured a lot during the season. If I remember correctly, I think he's got a future or past injuries before that keep bringing him up. Look, and it says it in the description. If he's fully healthy, you could have a young Diggs-esque receiver, and that's fantastic. I don't know if Tyson, if he's not ready by rookie minicamp, I don't know if he's going to be worth the risk at 7. I think you could move back and get him. And the problem is, and I've said this before, it's really not a great draft to trade back because there's going to be so many good players that are going to fall.
Yeah. I especially don't want an injury risky player now that we're dealing with Terry's injuries. If that pops back up and is an issue and we're out our top 2 receivers, it's going to be a problem. Generally, also just not as much of a fan of his film. But I feel like he's still going to be a first-round pick. He still could be a solid receiver. Like you said, that Diggs comparison is good. But I'd much rather go Lemon or Tate. Yeah.
Fair. And this isn't a slight against Lemon or a slight against Tyson because I think when you turn on the tape, he is explosive. He is electric. I think if he stays fully healthy in his career or has very, very minor injuries, he will be a name you have to watch out for. Like if he falls to, like, could you imagine if he fell to Tampa? Egbuka, Tyson, and Godwin with McMillan and Trey down there. That's insane. Or him if he fell to the Ravens. Him and Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers. That could be something. Yep. But I don't know if he's going to be worth the risk at pick 7 overall. I think if I had to pick a player to get at 7, I think it would have to be Carnell Tate is the first choice.
I would have to decide between Carnell Tate and Makai Lemon. I'm still kind of between the two of them. If I had to choose right now, I'd probably agree with you on Tate. But I'd be very happy with either. I think both would be great picks.
Fair. That's fair. And me saying I want Tate isn't a commander tag thing. It isn't what kind of Rio's alluded to on Twitter saying, big name, big school. It's Ohio State's making some of the best wide receivers in the league. But also, he's not going to have the immediate start of, you've got to start him because we have Terry. You can use Luke and Traylon as your 3. And even if you still bring in Aiyuk and you draft one, now you can make the pecking order of, you can get rid of, Van and Dyami, or if Jalen or Luke isn't fully healthy by that time, you have the ability to use IR to your advantage and use practice squad to your advantage. So I would probably, honestly, this might be the order I would go: Makai, Tyson, Lemon. But I think in terms of Tyson and Lemon, I would have to fall back a few spots.
Yep. I see that.
So
I'm with you.
But there's also a congregation of people that I think Tate could be a top 5 pick. Tennessee and the Giants being that.
I hope not.
It's not. I hope not. It's not far-fetched. I think there's a good argument that Malik Neighbors and Carnell Tate would easily become probably on paper the second best duo in the division behind CD and George.
I would rather them have Carnell Tate than Jeremiah Love. I'll say that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Dabo saying Lemon ran a 4.47 as pro day. You thought he'd be faster. Tate running a 4.5. Scouts coming out of that draft were clocking him in the 4.4s, and the clock was been messing up for a lot of prospects at the draft. So I'll give Carnell probably a 4.48. Then I gave him a 5.3. So him and Lemon probably running the same thing, but there's also a difference between track speed and you're running in a straight line versus running and playing on the field. And we've all played some version of, football on the field. You can be horrible at running the mile, but you're going to give it your all if you're playing, backyard football with your boys. So,
and also as a receiver, you're not always running 100% full speed.
No.
If you're a important deep ball receiver, that's an important category. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of what these guys are going to be doing, that 40 time isn't as important as people are making it to be. Not saying it's not important, but people are really focusing on that. Just total tunnel vision. They're a lot more than their 40 times.
The 40 time is a stat for us people talking about it. The media personalities, the podcasters, the content creators, because everyone looks for what's his 40 time, what's his RAS score, what's his height, what's his bench press. At the end of the day, you have to see what he does on the field and at his pro day to really get a good sense. And you got to watch the tape. You got to ask you got to interview people. You got to look into there's more to it than draft profiles and RAS scores. The draft combine experience is the makeup behind the rest. This backdrop would be the 40 time, would be the draft combine experience, would be the, everything else around me, the text messages, the emails, the DMs, that is what matters most. Not what you see that makes it look pretty kind of thing. Evan, first off, we appreciate you for that second $199. That's $3 in my bank account I didn't have before. But secondly,
hey yo, what the fuck
are you doing on these YouTube streets? I don't know what you're doing. I don't like it. Okay. And
he's a freaked out dude, bro. I don't know.
Hey.
What is this nonsense?
What's going on around here? All right. What's going on around here? But when did Tate run 4.3? No, I said 4.4. If I said 4.3, my apologies. I'll give him 4.48. I don't think Tate quite ran a 4.3. But he definitely did not run a 4.5. I'd give him 4.48. And that is that. Now, if we don't take a wide receiver at pick 7, if we take a Jeremiah Love, if we take a David Bailey, if we take a Mansour Delane, which back to who said it?
Was it Mike?
He's talking.
I don't know. I saw it.
He's talking about it. Okay, cool. Sorry, Rudy, I'm trying to keep up. But no, going back up here to, I think it was Mike. I think you're on the right track. I think it is Mike's. Sorry, folks, I'm scrolling. I gotta give people moderators at this rate. Where did this?
Don't give it to
comment-
Evan Butler.
I'm definitely not giving it to Evan Butler.
He does not get to be.
Oh, here we go. Dollar bills. So if we take if we take Mansour Delane, because he ran a 4.38 at his pro day, which is pristine. 6 foot, 200 pounds, absolute monster. I've been taking Delane in a few more of my mock drafts behind the scenes because I think Delane and Amos as your coverage corners, Lord have mercy. We good. Mikey as your utility piece, Will Harris, Nick Scott, or Nick Cross and company, man. If we got Delane, or if we moved back and Casey didn't take him at 7 and we got him at 9 and we got an extra third and maybe a second next year, woo!
Be great.
Beef. That is when you let AP cook and you say your prayers and you say sorry to Adam Peters for all those things to be fired.
That's a team right there.
And will it tempt the Giants or Titans? No. I don't think you take a corner within the top 5 unless he is Deion Sanders, unless he is, someone that echelon of cornerbacks. Nor do I think Leonard Moore next year will be taking top 5 unless he has like a sub 20 passer rating with 5 interceptions, no touchdowns, like the whole 9.
Giants and Titans will have much better options than Delane.
Yep.
And I think Delane's awesome. I would love Delane.
Fantastic.
But they could have David Bailey. They could have Sonny Styles. They could have Jeremiah Love. They could have
Carnell
Caleb
Tate.
Downs, Carnell Tate. I feel like all of those guys could go before Delane.
Yep.
So,
and if you want to go the unsexy pick and get, Francis Maui Noah, Caleb Lomu, Spencer Fano, any of the offensive linemen, which the Giants do need, I think the Cardinals, Browns, or Giants, one of those will take an O-lineman, and then you just bump everyone in your consensus top 6 up.
Yep.
So I'm in that boat. Dom saying personally, I think Tyson is vulnerable to another ACL tear. That's very possible. That he's not wrong. When you tear it once, you're bound to do it again.
Yep.
So
Could happen.
My girlfriend did the same thing, Dom. My girlfriend did the same thing. She tore it like 10 years ago, and she just tore it like these past couple months. So it's a little rough. So you're on the right track. But if we do take those people, or you just don't think we go wide receiver, and you really, really think, man, we can get someone later, and you are saying,
What the fuck, the big 3?
In terms of those wide receivers, boy, is this a good draft for you. There are much, much other wide receiver prospects in this draft. And mind you, the names I just put out, I'm not including Denzel Boston. I'm not including Omar Cooper Jr. I'm not including those guys because they will also be first to early second round wide receivers. This is a list of everyone I think could make it to pick 71 or later. So I'm repping the Hoosiers. I'm repping your national champions. Because first of all, it's a fantastic graphic. As a designer, you can't get better than this. That's simply why I bought it. And it's actually quite comfy. So shout out to Obvious Shirts. Elijah Surratt, based out of Virginia, national champion. Me and I think Rio both took him in our mock drafts. We just did on the last BIB Draft HQ episode. Y'all go watch that in the YouTube channel. If he was there at 71, 6'2", 210 pounds, had a good combine, a good coming up pro day, and if you want a really good number 2 who could work his way into a number 1, I think Surratt is a really good option.
Surratt's great. I would probably prefer Chris Brazell if he was there, but I know he's going up on a lot of draft boards. There's a good chance he won't be. Surratt's great though. I mean, he's right in there with Omar Cooper Jr. Great target for Mendoza. Especially if we trade up for Mendoza, like Ethan is saying in the comment. That could be a great pairing with Elijah Surratt. So, yeah.
Honestly, Jacob, I think Mendoza And I think if I'm the Raiders and I get Mendoza, I would trade back into the first for Omar, pair him up with his college kid, and in Kubiak's system, that could cook. Or they go out and get some of those guys late in the draft. Bryce Lance has been on my
fans.
We do got big Mendoza fans. Look, is it because I'm wearing an Indiana Hoosiers shirt, or is it because you simply think?
It is. I wonder if Evan Butler guys started this by talking about the Raiders.
I think this is what happened. I think we let Raiders fans in unknowingly. What have we done?
I think that's a problem.
God, I gotta get the bug extinguisher. I gotta get the air raid. I gotta get Orkin out. I gotta get these people out here. Bryce Lance has been a name that you have seen me try and get each and every single mock draft because he is 6'3", 6'4", that ran a 4.3 40. Do you understand what I'm telling you, folks? Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, 26 touchdowns in 2 years at North Dakota State. And I get it. It's North Dakota State. It's the level of competition. But you can't go wrong with speed and size.
I agree.
That's where I'm at.
I think there's a lot of good day 2 receiver prospects, but with how much of a need receiver is, I really can't see us going too far back in the draft to get one. Unless we get Brandon Aiyuk, which I know you wouldn't like. Maybe even Diggs, someone else.
I think if we sign another receiver, we should still get one in this draft. It's like last year's running back draft. If you didn't get in on it, you were probably left heartbroken because a lot of guys were good. Willie, the reason why Chris Brazzell, Omar Cooper Jr., Denzel Boston isn't on this list is mainly guys I think we can get at 71. Those guys will be long gone. And I think Surratt, Lance, and Bell and Jeremy Bernard could be long gone by 71. But these guys have a higher chance of making it to day 2 than Brazzell, Cooper, or Boston. But
and something else that could happen is with a trade back, we end up getting a pick before 71, but after that first round, maybe late first round. So that's where we could see an Omar Cooper Jr., Chris Brazzell, someone like that. Not out of the picture.
No, not at all. Not at all. Skylar Bell, another name. He was on my underrateds list. A guy I've been also trying to get. 5'11", I'm calling him 6 foot. Give it, what are you gonna do? Fire me? What are you gonna do? About 200 pounds. Again, had a really, really good. He was a top 3 Biletnikoff finalist playing at UConn. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? UConn put up a top 3 college football wide receiver, and I guarantee you, even if he played in the ACC or the Big Ten, he'd be getting more love.
Yeah,
I would take him in a heartbeat, and I think he could definitely give Terry's going to be the next one for the next year. But in the next 2 years, you slowly rotate him out. I think Skylar can definitely be there. Fast, athletic. Pretty much the average size of this wide receiver room is about 5'11" to 6 foot. So he falls right in line. Ran a 4.3.
One more thing I'll say about that is we already have a very small receiver room. So if we get someone with some size, that could be a really valuable addition, especially for our red zone offense. Carnell Tate, especially 6'3".
Big boy.
There's other options too. Yeah,
there are other options. Chris Bell. The reason why Chris Bell is on this list, Chris Bell pre-injury, late first round pick, incredible wide receiver. Then he tore his ACL. That is the only reason why he's on this list. If you want to swap Chris Bell with Brazzell, Boston, whoever, that's totally fine. I think he's going to fall because of the said injury, but I don't think he's going to fall far. If he makes it to 71, I'm going to be incredibly confused. And then I take him because he's like 6'3". He is a tall. When he's on the field, he is good and fast. Pause. I would take him, especially if he's fully healthy.
I'm with that. And I think is it Surratt or is it Cooper who's like the bigger target of the two? I can't remember.
I think Surratt is the taller of the two, Surratt being 6'2", Cooper being 6 foot. But I think Omar is just a more rounded receiver.
Right.
That's the reason why. Because I remember when we were doing them in like December, January. It was Surratt, and Omar. And then the past 3 months, they've done did this. Yeah.
Yep.
But shout out to Dante, Gridiron Apex. Shout out to him. He said Omar could be a first rounder back in like January 1st. So he called this months ago. Shout out. I will always give credit to Dante for that. Shout out to my boy. Jeremy Bernard is a name people love. And shout out to Josh Haley because he's a Bama boy. Jeremy Bernard, I think, will still be gone by 71, but I would not be as confused if he made it to 71 because he's still a really young, really good wide receiver who came in late on the year at Alabama. Just not my personal favorite.
Looks like we got a Stribling fan. And
we do got a Stribling fan. Hey, I love Stribling too.
Good player.
Great player. But that's where I'm at with Jeremy. Is I don't think he'll be there at 71, but if he is there, that is a name I'm going to go, what? You only take him sooner? What's wrong with y'all? Be confused. Ted, okay, let's address this now. Mike bringing up the trade Payne to get a second and a third. That's not happening. We'll get a third at best. Then he's saying trade Payne and Terry to Baltimore for a second, a third, and an extra. That's definitely not happening. Definitely not happening. Not whatsoever. Hey, first of all, we're getting these super chats and thank you, Mini, but hey, yo. Are these your roommates? What is going on around here?
I don't know who that guy is, but I think some of the guys in the earlier might have been.
Hey, man. First of all, we appreciate your super chat. I'm glad that super chats are working, but come
John,
on.
I'm making us money over here, bro.
Hey, Andrew's our moneymaker, apparently. I've done this podcasting game all wrong. Andrew is apparently our Sam Hartman. He's just me. Hey, now you're making money for us. I ain't mad at it. Willie's saying, I understand that, but Jacoby Brooks was the wide receiver one at Louisville last year with Chris Bell on the roster. That is true. And I love me some Jacoby Brooks, but I think Chris Bell this past season was standing out before he got the injury. That was the whole thing. Is people were saying Chris Bell could be like, I remember Chris Bell going to New England, Seattle, Denver, like those mock drafts coming into the tail end of December before the injury. Now I'm not so sure where he's going to go. I don't think he's going to fall to us, but I digress. Ted Hurst, a name I was not looking at months ago. I'm not even going to look at that other chat that says explicit words. I ain't touching that. Andrew Stein, that's A-okay. Ted Hurst, wide receiver, Georgia State. Again, another taller wide receiver who is fast and has got decent hands. That came on late in the draft. Andrew's dying, and I'm loving this. This is why we go live. The one time we go live, first off, we're making super chats. I'll hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We 24 of y'all watching this. We appreciate every single one of y'all. Andrew is as red as a tomato right now. Just dying, folks.
I'm good. I don't know what's up with this chat, man.
Hey, man. Look, first of all, these super chats are fantastic. But secondly,
you are preaching some bull jive right now. You're on that narcotic, and you know it.
You know it. Y'all know you're on that narcotic. And first, I'm here for it too. Here for it. I think Ted Hurst. Good Lord. First of all, thank you for the super chat. Absolutely not. No. No, absolutely not. That's not happening. Moving on. Dejon Stribling, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. He really came alive in this tail end of the season and into the playoffs. 6'2", good size, great speed, great hands. If we got him at 71, or if he truly fell to 145, I would be here for it. Hermit saying you got a wig is crazy. Okay, first of all, Andrew's making us money, so y'all be nice to Andrew tonight. You be nice to Andrew. He hasn't had a drink in like 36 hours. You be nice to him.
I think I need to click off this comments tab. Stop seeing these.
Stop looking at these.
Getting distracted.
I would love Stribling in DC. I think he's got good size, good speed. I think he'd really be a nice 2 as we figure out if Terry leaves next season, then you could use him as a 1. But if we have Stribling as our 2, I'm good for it. I am all here for it.
Daniels I watched
CJ Daniels
little bit of
out
his
of Miami.
tape. He's got good numbers, doesn't he?
CJ Daniels was
find him.
really good. Obviously the younger kid out of Miami, and I forget his name. Oh god, I can see him. But he was obviously the one. CJ Daniels being the 2 really works out well. Good size, good speed. Probably is going to be there at 140. He might be gone by 145, but I wouldn't do that for 71.
Yeah.
But
I'm with that. That could also be like we pick up a pick somewhere else in the draft with a trade back.
Yeah.
Use that there.
Could use that.
I'm not even looking at the comments right now. Should I?
I'm not looking. Not yet. Future was really saying Chris Bell destroyed Keontae Scott, Miami cornerback. Something Carnell. That is true. Chris Bell is fast, or Keontae Scott is fast. Chris Bell is faster. If Chris Bell fully healthy gets to the majority of what his speed was when fully healthy, we've got our size and speed demon. I am not mad about it. Willie, you are completely right. Also gave us a super chat. Thank you, Futuristic Willie, my man. Show up on Wednesday. I'm gonna need your help. Saying, what do you think about Norfolk's own Dalen Everett, cornerback out of Georgia? I think he's good. I think he is going to be fantastic in this league. I don't know if he essentially fits the Durante Jones secondary scheme. I got to do more look into Everett because I've done more work into different cornerbacks. But I appreciate the super chat. Malachi Tony, thank you. That was the other Hurricanes wide receiver that became the one. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Deion Burks, Malachi Fields. So Malachi Fields had a really, really bad offseason for whatever reason because I was high on him to begin with, and he kind of fell. And then Deion Burks, something about Burks I'm not the biggest fan of, and I had this debate with Rio because he took Burks at 71, and I went, not my cup of tea, but I completely understand if he's yours. So fair enough. If he's on your list, I'm not mad. Just not on mine. Or not on ours. Eric McAllister, wide receiver out of TCU, 6'3", about 190. Not the greatest combine or not the greatest offseason, and I don't know if TCU's had their pro day yet. A bit of a drop problem. I think he had 6 drops on the year. But if he was there at 145 or 186 and we took him, there is our tall wide receiver who's going to work his way into the offense. I'm good with it. Fantastic.
Drops also aren't the biggest issue to me with prospects, because I mean that's a pretty coachable thing. That's something that they can get better at.
Yep. Jugs machine. Get to it.
Put in the work.
Not mad at that. Eric Rivers, wide receiver, Georgia Tech, 5'11", I think 195 pounds, because I talked about it with him and Dante when we did the wide receivers video. Unfortunately, because he was great at FAU and he's done great at Georgia Tech, me and Dante kind of had the similar thing that he might be one of the guys that starts off on special teams to make his way into the rotation. He is really, really good, and I encourage people to go watch his tape from FAU. So good. But when Haynes King is running the football at the quarterback position as well as anyone in the country, it makes it harder for him to throw the ball. And I think Eric Rivers kind of took a hit for it. But again, if we took him, I'm all here for it. He's fantastic. I'm ignoring the comments for a quick sec. I need to get through the rest of this list. We've been on for over an hour. I thought we'd been in out. I'm
been at this for a minute here now. Yeah,
we've been at this for a minute. I'm not mad at it whatsoever. I'm enjoying the comments, the super chats, the subscribers, the viewers, Burgundy Ballins. I'm all here for it. A man who went to the Naval Academy is going to serve his country and is going to have a place on this offense because I think he should be touted as a wide receiver. Eli Heidenreich. No, do not call Michael Cole. That's not this Heidenreich. I'm talking about Eli Heidenreich, the fullback / tight end / halfback / wide receiver out of Navy. I think he'll be there at 186, 202 or 226. So we can get him late day 3. but he is a Swiss Army knife at the position. Like anywhere you need to line him up on the offense outside of like a tackle, please. Like ESPN has him listed as a wide receiver, 6 foot, 206 pounds. So call it what you will. At the receiver position this year, 941 yards, 6 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, he also ran the ball 77 times for 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he has roughly 1,400 all-purpose yards and 9 touchdowns as a senior at Navy. Mind you, Blake Horvath, the quarterback, damn near plays quarterback and fullback. So I would take Eli Heidenreich. Please.
Looks like we have some disagreements on Burks.
That is
Traylon
this week.
Burks.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
I don't know.
Dodd is saying,
I feel like he's got to prove himself.
Field. He does. He does. Don't like
And he'll have
Burks.
his
Guy
chance.
can stay healthy. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm not saying he's a bad wide receiver. I'm not the personal biggest fan of Deion Burks, but I'm not trying to say he's a bad receiver. No, don't get me wrong. First of all these guys would kill me on the field. Would dust my shit. Would put me into the upper room all day. No question about it. Just not my cup of tea. But again, that's just me. Dang, Minnie called you the I don't know if that's supposed to be a compliment or
I think he's saying them really good at looking at college freshmen in football. Like
I would agree. I think you're 100% right. So thank you for the 199. We have made just between let's see 3. We have made some good money tonight, all because of Andrew. I'm here for it. I gotta use this man more often. Hey yo,
I gotta keep looking at those freshmen scouting for the NFL draft.
Yeah, man. I say you're supposed to say yeah. Got to clean up that sentence. True. Clean up that sentence. Get rid of Burke, get rid of Will. Mike saying okay. Double saying name a famous Navy wide. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. This is one of the better years for Navy prospects. Him and Landon Robinson I'm high on, so that's fair. Any relation to the WWE superstar John Heidenreich? Don't believe so. I do not believe so. If he is, fantastic. That is hilarious if it is, but I don't think so. I think he comes from a military family. That is that. This also might be one of your people, Andrew. Sophie Holdcamp saying,
"This is crazy. We're making some money, bro.
We're making bank."
I'm impressed. I don't know what this is supposed to mean, but
just got the what? Got the test results back. Hey, what? What she's telling you is with these test results.
You tell me. You tell me.
It's exactly what's going on around here, and also with these super chats. First off, thank you.
So, what kind of narcotic do you have?
Because apparently the people are parking in the crack around here. And then finishing up, Tyron Montgomery, wide receiver out of John Carroll. Hey, you want to talk about a small school demon? That is Tyron Montgomery out of John Carroll. 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6'1" or 6'2". I mean, Randy Moss came from Marshall, even a smaller school than Marshall.
I mean, a lot of these small school guys have a lot of potential. We've seen, Cooper Kupp, Eastern.
Yeah,
like a 30-minute drive from where I go to school. There's a lot of small school guys with a lot of potential. So
yep. There's been a couple here out of ODU that have made it to the league and actually have been Super Bowl champions. Taylor Heineke came out of here. So again, small schools can produce. I'm not saying they can, but I couldn't. If you had told me to name all 132 Division I FBS schools, I never would have gone to John Carroll.
Yeah.
Not a million years. But
I
again,
agree. I'm with you there.
But I'm gonna pull up his stats again just to make sure you guys hear what I'm trying to say. Tyron Montgomery, excuse me. Like, also it's hard to find good pictures of these smaller schools. So if I clip this out and I get a bad picture, I apologize. But Tyron Montgomery, wide receiver, John Carroll Blue Streaks. It's first of all, it's one heck of a school name. The Blue Streaks. It sounds like Kent State. But 6'1", 185, has and take this we're going to a 93.1 PFF grade with 109 receptions, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns.
Wow. I didn't even know it was that good. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. He also has 6 carries for 94 yards and a rushing touchdown. So you can also use him. Honestly, Montgomery and Heidenreich, you could use like Debo. Use him on a few jet sweeps. Use him on a few wasps. All I'm saying is you can use him. Versatile player. DMV Mateo saying Chris Bell is Xavier Legette or AJ Brown.
I do not hate that comparison.
I don't hate it.
Size, strength, good
Speed.
hands. Speed.
Yeah. I gotta do more tape on Bell. I'm not reading that last super chat, but I thank you for the $2. I'm not reading it, so we'll go with it. Reedy saying say it ain't suit JKJ. It is Reedy. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm doing my job out here. Hermit Rob saying DB is going to use Luke and Jalen a lot, guaranteed. You are correct. I think Luke and Jalen are going to be used between special teams and just the regular offense much more. David Blau, thank you.
I think I read Jalen more so.
Jalen more so, yeah, because Luke also being injured isn't going to help.
We'll see if Luke has sort of a comeback year, makes a case to stay on the team, but he's in the hot seat as a player.
Fair. Dalbell saying they had opportunities last year, didn't really get the targets because Luke can't separate and Jalen can't catch. Jalen can't catch. You might be on something. Luke not getting separation. You're not wrong.
He's right.
But, I mean, yeah, he is still technically right. I just think they didn't draft Luke for his separation of receiver. They probably got him more as that possession catch receiver, a la the Chargers game. You aren't 6'1" to high point that ball for nothing. But also when it's the highlight of your career, essentially, that's not the greatest look. Playing under center is a totally different animal than Cliff's college offense. Absolutely. How long have we been saying we need to get Jayden under center? A year?
More?
Year
and a half.
So it's going to be a monster. Mike saying we need to get a free agent center. I would draft a center. I like some of the centers in this draft a lot, and there's really good ones. We need to shut down. I would say we should definitely target receiver, corner, center. I think should be our 3 biggest needs in this draft, and there are plenty of them all. I would do it. Hey, shout out Cam fan saying Surratt is an absolute dog. He's gonna rep the 757 strong and well in the NFL. So shout out to Surratt. Shout out to Cowboys Cam fans. We gotta get talking again. It's been like a hot minute since I've talked to the Canada fan fellas. We need to start those discussions up again because it's fantastic seeing them. Dang, Reedy started early. I couldn't stop him. Why does Reedy and Chris Paul look like twins? Damn it. Oh man.
You said it.
Willie, I was gonna say he looks like a skinny Rick Ross starter kit, but you said Chris Paul. Man, it's insane.
We got to get Reedy's thoughts on that.
We'll get them. We'll be getting them Wednesday night. Wednesday night, Reedy, Z, John, Juan, the Burgundy Breakdown. Wednesday nights on your YouTube and Instagram feeds. It's going to be fireworks on Wednesday. You understand me? Fireworks. Yeah, definitely got to link up. Hit me hit us in the chats. We'll definitely work something out. Shows we really should have kept Biotish. Probably, but I don't think he was going to fit the versatile O-line nature of what Blau was trying to do. And I forget, it's not West Coast scheme. I forget the terminology that we've all been talking about when it comes to these O-linemen under the David Blau system. So we got to figure that out.
I'm really with Minnie on that one. I mean, Tyler was a very solid and above average player, and I believe we're going to seriously downgrade now since we didn't get Linderbaum. If we got Linderbaum, I'd love it. But
fair. Oh, thank you. Tyler isn't a run zone guy, so yeah, that's the O lineman that they're looking for. Is that zone run scheme?
Right.
Thank you. Thoughts on Coleman at center? I don't think so. I don't even know if Coleman's going to get a shot at guard because we kept Allegretti, we kept Chris Paul, we still got Cosme. I don't know if Coleman's going to get a shot. I think Coleman could be a potential cap casualty cut come camp.
Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting if that happens. Thoughts on Coogan? I think again, another Hoosier. I think Coogan is a really good center. He's probably lower on my list in terms of centers. I like Jones. I like Slaughter. I like Hecht. I like Gulbin. Couple guys more, but I do think Coogan is going to be a fantastic center. What do you think? What do you mean Tyler was a great? No. What I'm saying is he wasn't a great zone run guy. That's what
Minnie's trying to argue that he was a great zone guy, which I would personally disagree with.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Butler, same thing.
Butler, yeah, he's coming. He's talking about it. So there's another debate for that. Was he a great zone run center? It's another debate for another time. EP needs to start letting his wife draft for him. Is crazy. Insane.
That's a diss right there.
That is. Whew. And don't. Mr. Peters, Coach, GM, if you're watching this, I know you're probably not, but if you're watching this, Dollar Bill does not reflect the views or the opinions of the Ballin Burgundy podcast. Does not reflect the thoughts and views and opinions of the Burgundy Breakdown. I don't know where this comment came from, but it does not reflect our views. Getting ahead of this. Why did Dallas let Biotis walk? Who did they? I think they replaced him with Brock Huffman. I think they already had a backup center.
Didn't they draft someone? I might be wrong.
They keep drafting guards and tackles, and they take center.
It probably wasn't a center.
So, because they had Brock Huffman, and they let him go this past offseason. So I don't know. Allegretti played a crap shit ton of center. He definitely played center in college, and I remember him talking about that. So I'm not mad at Allegretti being a center. I just need a future option, considering Allegretti's on a 1-year deal. So I would look into the draft for center because there's not a whole lot of great ones left on the market. So do that. I agree. He wasn't a good West Zone center. Not doing it. Mike saying get CJ Daniels on the draft again. Not bad at it whatsoever. I'm here for it. If we get him, that's great. If not, cool. We'll probably hit a few more of these chats and then we'll get on our way because we are already an hour and 18, call it an hour and 20 minutes. I didn't think we would be on this long personally. I thought we'd be in and out.
We've been getting a lot of comments to follow up.
We've been getting a lot of comments.
It's been good.
And great super chats, like suspect super chats to begin with.
A little bit. I'm a little concerned. But we're making money. That's what I do.
Outside of outside of Futuristic Willie's legitimate comment, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We made $14 this episode. We appreciate y'all. Suspiciously on that narcotic.
Yep.
100% on that narcotic. But also we appreciate y'all. But every time Andrew was reading a super chat, you turn that R. Kelly meme. You're killing me. So I'm not mad at it whatsoever. We're holding Mariota back. Are you kidding me right now? Mariota is like his 10th year of the league. He is a perennial backup now. Look, I'm not saying Marcus couldn't start for like the Jets, the Dolphins, like anything, but like what? No.
He's a young superstar prospect. I don't know. Jaden's just too old, I guess.
I guess Jaden's just
washed. Yeah, he's uncle.
Man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that happened now. So, Hermit's number 4 at Mickey D's. I don't know what that means. Hermit, I don't know what this means.
They spend a lot of money at McDonald's.
McDonald's? I mean, if you're going to McDonald's, you get the $5 meal deal back and you get on your merry way.
That or the $6 quarter pounder.
Yeah.
Or the McDouble.
Fair.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a McDouble. There we go. How much longer is this podcast? I'm almost there. Look, we're gonna be on our way out. We're gonna get up out of here. You're already reading my mind. Because by the time this time hits, normally Z is asleep in his chair.
Yeah, it's late for you, bro. It's early on
it's about 10 o'clock. I'm not gonna acknowledge Minnie's other super chat because Ayo.
I actually have no idea who this is.
Who are you?
John, I think we're both making money, bro.
We're making moves.
It's not just me.
We're making money. No, we're making good money. We'll just go. I'm not gonna finish that statement. JD couldn't. Okay. Jayden, that whole thing was a scrimmage backyard play for the football teamers, and it was a legitimate competition. So the USA flag football team, the actual flag football players, beat the NFL teams like 85-24 combined score.
Yeah, I was watching college basketball, so I did not see how that played out.
No, it's March Madness. I'm at work. First of all, it looked like there were plenty of highlights. Jayden to Devontae Adams, Jalen getting pick 6, Tom avoiding the sack to the OBJ catch. Like plenty of super chat or plenty of spectacular moments. But it's March Madness. It's draft season. We got a lot more to look forward to in the flag football competition, which was supposed to take place in Saudi Arabia, but because of the whole conflict, it got moved to Los Angeles.
Thank you, Mike, for the clarification that Jayden is.
Yeah.
The starter.
Thank you, Jayden.
We agree.
Thank you, Mike. Herman saying there's enough super chat money for a number 4. Hey, you're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know because the tax out here on that number 4, I would get taxed $3 on that meal this rate. So I don't know if I got enough I got enough for me and Andrew to get 2 $6 meal deals and call it a day. That's what I know that much.
Let's do it.
Hey, and we will divulge. It'll be delicious. But any last remarks talking about receivers into the draft, who we should target? Anything else you want to talk about before we get up out of here?
Just that's really something we got to emphasize. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. I feel like first round, number 7, we could easily be seeing either Makai Lemon or Carnell Tate, preferably not Jordyn Tyson. But I also wouldn't mind a trade back. There's a lot of other names: Omar Cooper Jr., Elijah Sarah, Chris Brazel. There's
we're shutting down the stream in the next about 45 seconds. You can guarantee that. But I would agree. You have to draft a receiver in this draft class, no matter what, whether it's at 7 or 70. I think one of your first 2 picks should be a wide receiver, unless there is a ungodly prospect sitting there that has fallen. Then I totally get it.
Jeremiah Love at 7 makes sense.
Jeremiah Love at 7 makes absolute sense, especially with what Schefter said, saying the Giants and the Titans probably aren't in for him. So could happen. But until then, I will be seeing most of y'all, hopefully, this coming Wednesday. Reedy, Z, me, one guy talking sports, the Burgundy breakdown. It is going to be fireworks. Because I told Reedy last week, he was bringing up some, talking about fashion in the 2000s. I said you were rocking the 2000s fat wear tracksuit like Rikishi. And now we got fireworks coming on Wednesday. So y'all tune in this Wednesday, the Burgundy breakdown. So go subscribe to that channel. It is going to be insane. I will be on the Electric Edge podcast this coming Thursday. Shout out to Taylor and the Electric Edge. Talking NFL draft picks, talking the NFL draft. Going to be a good time. Shout out to her. I'll be on her podcast later this week. And then your boy's making the rounds. I'm going to other podcasts. I got people coming on the show. It's going to be a good time here on BIB. Andrew was dying, so I want to make sure we don't get more of these chats. Killing him like a rotten tomato. So with that being said, guys, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We are on the road to 1,100. Before I looked, we were at 1,027. So hit the subscribe button, whether you're watching the full horizontal video or you're watching the vertical image video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. We will see y'all next time. Because if this is the way it keeps going, we might have to do more super chats or do more live streams.
Keep making money, whatever it takes.
Hey, making moves, making $10 moves. I'll see y'all on Wednesday. We'll see y'all next time. We are out. Peace.